There's a mess. When are we gonna be able to release the Scoville? What's up with the Scoville when it comes to the last dab?
The Scoville heat units for the sauce is just over 2.4 million on our first test. We're having it tested at 2 other universities just to have backup. Yes, he did. It's the first case of last dab ever made. Do you want to open one up and try it?
We have to do it.
This is the first case off the line. Doesn't it taste great?
It tastes really good. Actually, the last dab that you make now is a lot hotter, I feel like.
Yeah, because we started with
Actually,
about
it's like
50% pepper, okay?
Uh-huh.
Triple X went up to about 80% pepper.
Yeah.
And now with this one, we're at over 91% pepper. Okay? And we
Pepper
took
to
out
what? To what's the other? Vinegar or?
pepper and vinegar. That's
Yeah,
it in
pepper
this
and vinegar.
one.
Pepper X, people. I'm Johnny Scoville, and this is Chase the Heat.
Chase that.
Okay, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna
Really?
be stunned.
Really?
Yeah, tasted saying, I tasted Pepper X. This does not give you any indication of how hot that pepper is, unless it's not that hot a pepper, because if 91% of this is Pepper X, what in the world could you put in that would dilute it so much that would knock the heat down that much? Here it is. You can see Pepper X. You can see right there, 61,019.
First of all, I want to state the obvious. I do not really like drama and I don't support harassment, and I will be objective about the facts. I believe that this discussion is important for the spicy food community, and this is still a fresh situation, so more information might happen later. So, why did I barrage you with clips at the beginning? I'll explain. The last dab since its release has been an interesting case, a fairly expensive sauce with the promise of basically pepper mash of the next hottest pepper, and of course being popular due to hot ones. Since its original release, a constant complaint is that is not as hot as claimed. During the original announcement for the last dab, a clear declaration is made. When tested, the results of the last dab were 2.4 million Scoville units, with more tests pending.
Units for the sauce is just over 2.4 million on our first test. We're having it tested at 2 other universities just to have backup.
After the original release, a version of the last dab using 3 colors of Pepper X is made, with the claim now being that around 80% of the sauce is pepper mash. The sauces basically went out of stock in days after being released. Finally, with the Guinness World Records event with Pepper X, a version called Last Dab Experience is released, now with the claim on the label of 91% Pepper X in powder extract and mash form. Chase the Heat has always been pretty outspoken about his disliking of the last dab. He has eaten whole bottles, which in theory would mean he consumed an extremely hot sauce. Yet he says that they don't match up with the Scoville levels. Not even close. With the newest last dab being linked to a pepper that in a certain way is intangible and in which the only way to sample is trough-high price products, the decision was made to send the last dab to a lab to evaluate how hot it is. Since a sauce made 91% of a pepper that is claimed to be 3 times hotter than the Reaper logarithmically couldn't make a hot sauce. After a lot of suspense, the test result was 61,019. Very, 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 very far away from 2.4 million. Not only that, but it's clearly stated that the newest experience sauce is the hottest so far, indicating that by its own logic it should have been way hotter than 2.4 million. So, what happened? How are we now on a test of a sauce made 91% of a pepper that's 2.7 million, and that was claimed to be at least 2.4 million, testing at a very low number like 61,000? I don't know. But we can make a couple theories. The only real grasp at straws that can be made at this situation is the test itself. This, however, doesn't go very far. The test was made with the ASTA guidelines, the official American spice determination method. If anything, it feels stranger that the 2.4 million would deviate from the official standard. A thing that people don't really seem to bring up in the discussion is this clip from the Pepper X special, in which it kind of sounds like they use unripe peppers on the mash.
Yeah. When you eat it, this is how we use them in the mash.
Okay, so it's not quite matured.
While this could be an argument, I really don't see it. First of all, there's studies where it's shown that green unripe peppers can be as hot as ripe ones. Second, the guys eat it and swear it's the hottest thing ever. Third, 91% of the damn thing should be pepper. Not only that, but multiple forms. Powder and extract as well. This brings us to a point where we hear something interesting from Ed himself on a live stream.
All right. People keep on asking me why stuff's not as hot as they're expecting with some of the Pepper X sauces. Guys, 99.99996425% of the world that eats spicy stuff does not like it brutal. So
You can blame that on me too. I just like the Pepper X, and so a lot of the sauces I just want to use that pepper for the flavor of the pepper.
So we are making Pepper X sauces for normal people.
I think that this discussion was more based on some of the other Pepper X products made by Puckerbutt. It's obvious that this cannot be used in defense of the last dab. It's clearly stated that the modern last dab is hotter than older last dabs, and the entire point of creating the sauce in 2017 was this.
And we wanted to have that hottest sauce. So when we were discussing how could we possibly make a new hottest sauce without extracts, there was only one man to talk to.
We could keep on going with small discrepancies, but I think you get the point. Do I think that Pepper X is not as hot as it's showed to be and is all a big conspiracy? Personally, no, I do not think so. I'm actually a part of the minority that thinks Pepper X does actually test as high, and no, it's not a big mustard mama. However, I really do not blame you for thinking it is. Every section of Pepper X has had, in my opinion, terrible PR management, making the pepper private. And then this test was just the cherry in the cake. When I made the thumbnail for this video, I actually wasn't being sarcastic. I legit want to figure out what's happening. Do you think it's all a big conspiracy and X is not as hot? Or do you think that it is as hot and is a misunderstanding? You are free to reason whatever you want. So instead of ending on a weird cynical tone, let's see what we can figure out of the situation right now. People have the right to test things and want to make sure that it fits expectation. People testing things by themselves is not an offense to anyone. Ultimately, whatever side of the debate you are on, we are all trying to figure out the truth. And most importantly, something that you should always save in your heart, hot sauce probably shouldn't be worth $25.